Welcome to Ladies Talkin Leafs. I'm Chris.
And I'm Sil.
And what a difference a few months make. Wow. It was all doom and gloom when the Leafs played their last game of the 2025-26 season on April 15. From top to bottom, the future looked very bleak. But then lucky number 12 showed up. Wow. And Matt Sundin, I guess. So, that was on May the 5th. And after this past weekend, the Leafs' future looks a hell of a lot brighter.
Yes, definitely. And of course, we're talking about the NHL Draft, which just happened over the last couple of days. We're recording this on Sunday. And we all know that the Leafs chose Gavin McKenna first overall. So I don't know. You weren't sweating it, but when you got the phone call, I just could not read his body language and I was sweating it. I
don't know. I was okay. I don't know.
A lot of people were. So I don't know. Maybe other people weren't like me, but I guess like I said to you, I just don't know if I trust Chaika yet to not do something totally crazy. But they did the right thing and they selected him first overall. So that was incredible. Anyway, so it's such an exciting time for Leafs Nation, and we're going to get right into the show, and we're going to start off with our review of the NHL Draft and all the Leafs' new prospects. We're going to discuss the Brandon Carlo trade, and to close the show, we have a tribute to former Leafs GM and Hockey Hall of Famer Cliff Fletcher. So without any further ado, let's talk Leafs.
All right. So GM John Chaika did a hell of a good job getting as many picks as he could in this year's NHL Draft. That's for sure.
That's 3 more than, most people do.
Yeah. In total, the Leafs had 10 draft picks. And obviously, Director of Scouting Mark Leach must be pretty happy about that too. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about them.
Yep. Absolutely. The star, of course, was first overall pick, Gavin McKenna, left winger from Whitehorse, Yukon, and former of Penn State college hockey.
Tell us about that Yukon ice cream first.
Oh, okay. So I went to the store right before the draft, pretty much, and I was really looking and thinking, okay, maybe we'll get some treats or whatever to enjoy. And then as I was looking in the freezer cabinet there, I saw this Chapman's Yukon ice cream bar, and I thought, I think I have to get that for tonight. So we did, and it was okay. Sorry, Chapman's. I found it a little too complicated, a little bit overly sweet, and too much going on the outside. Not enough good stuff on the inside. And of course, I think I said to you that is a lot more complicated than our first overall pick.
Yeah. But that alone should have made you sweat less too.
Yeah, I thought it was a sign. Yes, definitely. That things were going to go our way in this instance. So it's great. A lot of negativity around Bieber being up there and how he presented it, but I kind of loved it because he's a fan just like us. Yeah. And it was just so organic, and I don't know, for all of the traditionalists who are congratulate everyone and thank the host, for hospitality and all of that.
The venue now, I prefer the old style of the of the draft, right? And a lot of people do.
And I think a lot of people do. And this is the second year they've done it this way.
This is different. So why not? Bring out Bieber, one of the biggest fans of the team, and and let him introduce. Mm-hmm. I liked the Mr. McKenna.
I did too. Yeah. Come on down. You're the next contestant. No, but I thought it was kind of more organic, and anyway, I thought that was fun. So it was fine. I wasn't, so down on that. And, but and the thing that really threw me, or not threw me, and I hope it's not throwing him, is boy, is he thrown right into the fire. I don't even remember this much with Austin Matthews, and I think, like you said, some of it is because things have changed, between in the last 10 years with how they do these things. But the amount of stuff he's had to do, and he's just taking it in stride. And even with going to the Blue Jays game, like he's like being shuttled all over the place. Like,
oh yeah, he definitely needs a lot of energy. That's for sure.
For sure. He looked so tired at the press conference opener. I'm like, you could tell that he was up late. Yeah, and he was probably so excited, which I think he said.
He's only 18 years old, so he still needs a lot of sleep, right? At that age, that's for sure.
Definitely. So I think it will be good for him to go home for a while, recalibrate, and then, and they're going to be hitting the ground running in about a week, though, with the development camp and everything. So, but I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Few things I liked. I liked that he wore his first ever 3-piece suit to the draft.
Actually, my daughter. Yeah. That's one of the things she said too. She said, that is sharp. Yeah. I love a good 3-piece. So,
so I like that.
Yeah.
And I liked the phone call from Chayka and Sandin.
Oh, no, that was, once all the dust settled and I knew what was what and it all made sense. And I thought that was just the fact that they weren't there. Like, I just think that Chayka he's so intuitive with this kind of stuff, seems to me. Like, just from what I've observed so far, obviously small sample size, but he just gets it.
Yeah. From what Chayka talked about too, about building relationships, right? And how they talked about when he went to Whitehorse, right, to visit him and the family. And I thought it was funny, too, the way he said when they went on the trip, I guess, into the mountains or something. And Gavin McKenna was driving, even though I wonder what kind of vehicle it was. But anyways, he
probably a truck.
Truck or something.
No doubt,
but Chayka had his eyes closed or whatever. And then I also liked the words from Matt Sundin where he said, because it's all it's a lot, like we were just saying, of what the kid has to take in right now. And the most important words, I think, came from Matt Sundin saying, stay true to yourself.
And in a nutshell, and this is what I said to my family, I said that exactly what you just said is why Matt Sundin is here.
Yes. Yeah, because a lot of people are asking why he's here, but
this is the reason.
Yeah.
Because as much as Shanahan took over, Shanahan was a fan like us in a sense.
Yeah.
There are very few people out there that know what it means and what it takes to do this job, to be a Maple Leaf. And up to now, they haven't included, and much to our chagrin, because we mention it a lot, former players who've been in that spotlight. And the spotlight is so much greater now. Like, I honestly wish that Austin Matthews had this kind of mentorship, but you know what? It's great that he's going to get it now. Even though, yes, McKenna's the new kid that they're bringing into the fold. He is the future, but Austin Matthews, he's still part of our future. And they are finally going to get, be reminded of the things that are important. And that kind of goes to sort of what Hiller's saying too with the spirit. It kind of is all of that,
Yeah.
Because that's what it really boils down to.
A couple other things. Just want to mention Joe Bowen and the Holy McKenna.
Yeah.
Right?
I would love for him. We're not going to hear it. Yeah.
I know. I would love for him to just get one opportunity to do that.
Well, the truth is they have it recorded. So they might, with his permission, he may still let him use it. At least maybe for his first goal would be kind of neat. Yeah. So
and the last thing is, it's different actually. I went to church this morning, and the priest said to me as I went up to, I guess we have like a communion thing, and I went up, and he's like, "Congratulations." And I looked at him and I said,
"Wow."
I said, "What?" He goes, "You got the number 1 pick." And he started laughing because he has no idea about hockey. Right. So I'm like, "Oh my God." I said, "How do you?" I said, "You do know hockey." He said, I said, so that in itself, I think, is a very good sign.
That's right.
Yeah.
Finally, God is turning towards the Leafs, it seems.
Yeah. Got him to notice it, but no, it was fabulous. I loved it. The fact that we got Gavin McKenna, and it'll be interesting to see. And development camp is coming up now
for sure. One more thing that I do want to say too about one thing Chayka said that I thought was really telling is when he was talking about him as a parent. That's another reason why he thought it was important for him to go up there and, meet the family and everything that, as a parent, I would want to know that my kid is going to be well taken care of. And that says a lot to me too.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I've been so kind of impressed, guardedly impressed.
Yes,
But
I mean, it's early. It
is
but
definitely early, but like the guy has done more in 2 months than the last people did in 2 years.
Yeah. No, it's really unbelievable how he's
decisive,
transitioned
which I love.
Yeah, but how he's transitioned the just getting picks basically to get our Leafs Nation
cupboards filled.
I don't know, and just to get Leafs Nation excited again. I don't know, right? In such a short period of time. Again, like you said, it has to take a step back a little bit or whatever, but so far so good. And we have free agency coming up too. So that's another thing. But okay, let's move on to round number 2. And the prospect that we picked was Alexander Bilecki, a defenseman, left shot from Mississauga, and he played on last year's Kitchener Rangers Memorial Cup champions. So I was watching a video before we came on of his Tim's order. I liked it. I actually didn't mind his Tim's order. He had a supreme stack sandwich with an iced coffee, which I really didn't like, but he had a medium coffee. He said either or, a medium black coffee or an iced coffee. But I was impressed even with McKenna. Both of them, they had their Tim's orders laid out. So that was impressive to me since I'm a big Tim's fan. And his favorite, actually, well, first of all, apparently there is a theme here coming up with these defensemen that we picked. And it's the words puck mover. Almost all of them have puck moving skills, basically, right? That's seems to be the new theme here going forward with these picks. Power play specialist. And I don't know. I just think he was really taking it in too. Just even though it's a second round pick, but he was really excited, and all the family and everything like that. So that was cool.
There was a tweet or whatever that went out with McKenna saying, "I have the passion."
Yeah.
And then Bilecki chimed in and said, "I too have the passion." So I kind of like that there's a little bit of competition there, that, he had a little bit of swagger, that, he's kind of talking to the first pick there too, and saying, he's no slouch. He was a part of their Mem Cup run. So he's a kid, I think, that played more and more as the season went on, and played a big role in their championship. And I was happy to see that, once they picked the winger first overall, that they went right to getting defensemen.
Yeah, they definitely just stock up the cupboards there.
So we talked a bit about Bilecki. So let's move on to round 3. The Leafs had 4 picks there. Some of it was thanks to Chaika, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But they picked another defenseman, and this guy, by all accounts, sounds like he's a real steal. Like, a lot of people really high on this pick. It's another defenseman, Ethan McKenzie. He's from Kelowna, played with the Edmonton Oil Kings. Apparently, there's a lot of Oilers fans who are hoping that they were going to take him. He's a left shot defenseman. He's kind of a little bit of a late bloomer, and he, I think, has been passed over 2 times already. He has had some injury history, but he made the Team Canada roster this year. And right after they made this pick, my son texted me and said, "I'm really excited about that pick." So there's that.
Yeah, because he's 19 years. So like you said, he's a
little bit older.
He was passed over. He was passed over for 2 drafts. And I think that's why he is, from what they've said anyways, he is like he's been an underdog his entire career.
And we like those guys on our team generally.
Yeah. And from eliteprospects.com, he's described as an explosive puck rusher. So that, again, the puck-moving puck rusher, whatever you want to call it. And the other thing I found interesting is that he's a teammate of another Leafs prospect, already previously drafted with the Oil Kings, Miroslav Halinka.
Oh. So, yeah, and that guy's got a bright future, too, from what we've heard. So,
yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, and he's going to North Dakota next season. He's going to go for college hockey.
So that'll be good for him, too. And, so we'll obviously none of us know how these guys are going to pan out, but it all sounds good so far. And then the next D-man they took is Måns Gudmundsson. You might remember that name from a previous show when we had Sam Tierpak on, and he talked about him as kind of like a pick that around this time. He's from Skövde, Sweden. And Färjestad BK is his team in the SHL. He's a right shot defenseman. And Sam had lots of good things to say about him as well.
Yeah, I watched an interview he had with Mark Masters, and he models his game, or is trying to model his game off of Moritz Seider.
That's all right.
Which I thought, oh, that's pretty good. I wouldn't mind that. Who plays with the Detroit Red Wings, of course. But
yeah, he seems to be a guy that has some tenacity in his game, which is also good. So he's probably not going to be like a first pairings. Maybe could be second, but probably third. So yeah.
And now, guy 6'3".
Yeah. And now moving on to the forwards. They also took Zach Olson. He's from Calgary, played for the Saskatoon Blades, left winger. And then goalie, which they're quite high on, Juuso Anisto from Kerava, Finland. He plays for Jokerit. He's 6'4", 18 years old, and he gives the Leafs even more depth in goal. And I think he's even though he was picked higher than the other guy, but I think that they feel like he's got a little bit of a longer runway to develop, but maybe slightly higher upside. But anyway, they're going to take time to develop the goalies, right?
Yeah. There are only both goalies, I guess, like they take time. And these kids are only 18 years old, so we'll see what happens. And
that Zach Olson kid is another one that the Oilers were coveting.
Yeah. And Max Domi is a big fan of Zach Olson too, because I guess he came out and Zach Olson did to say that.
Oh, right.
He battles type 1 diabetes, same as Max. And
and he's always looked up to Domi for that kind of.
Yeah, gave him inspiration. Basically. So, Yeah. Actually, it was interesting because I have it down as a left winger, but then I saw on Daily Faceoff that he played center.
So he's a little bit versatile.
Maybe interchangeable. He's described as an energy forward, which
we like that.
Yeah. So, All right. And then moving on to round number 4, the Leafs picked the other goalie, Patrick Plumins from...
Now, this guy, I'm like really excited about.
Yeah? Because Latvia.
Those Latvians, they are...
That's true.
Just so intense and tenacious. I love the way they play.
Wasn't it a Latvian goalie that
it was him?
They took,
it was this guy.
Oh, was this guy? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so he played for Zemgale in Latvia. Had a 9.927 save percentage, and the only thing I guess they're saying, like in Latvia, because he played in Latvia, like the competition there isn't that great. So you take it with a grain of salt, that save percentage. But
and I think that's probably why too, that he wasn't picked as high as the other guy.
Yeah,
potentially. Yes. But in like World Juniors and international competition, he's played really well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then in round 5, we chose Cooper Williams from Calgary, Alberta, Saskatoon Blades, a center. And he's actually teammates with Zach Olson. So I kind of like that they're...
Yeah, I do. I like that too.
That they pick, like we have the teammates with the D-men, teammates with these couple of forwards from Saskatoon. So it's kind of good. I like that idea. And he, I guess... I guess they're looking for depth at center, right? Because we don't have a lot there. And he's 6'1", which is a good size. And he's actually going to North Dakota as well. So he'll be teammates with Ethan McKenzie, I guess, with the Demon that we picked in round number 3. So again, I like that togetherness of keeping prospects together, playing together, so that when they do move up, whether they're playing with the Marlies or they'll already know each other and have better chemistry.
It's always good to have a buddy with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so now off to round 6, and this was the last round that we had picks in. I think the Leafs moved up to get this next guy. He's another one that Sam Tirpak mentioned on our show, and he's another defenseman, Yaroslav Fedoseev, and he's from Chelyabinsk, Russia. Played a split time between the MHL, Russia's junior league, and the VHL, which is Russia's second-tier pro league. And so, as I said, the Leafs traded their 2027 fifth-round pick for Fedoseev. So the scouts must have seen something in him. And of course, we already know that Sam, who we had on our show, liked him as well. So do you have anything that you want to mention about him?
No, I mean, it was, I guess he's, he's again, he is a puck-moving defenseman as well. And and he's... I guess they said that there were other teams interested in him, but and that's why the Leafs decided to move up basically and trade the pick. And it's all about development, and because we don't have a lot of obviously prospects, basically, right? So this year we really stocked up, and I guess this is really the first draft, I think, where Mark Leach will have, and the scouting staff will really, down the road, it'll really show, depending on how these prospects turn out, these later rounds, it'll really show like the work that the scouting staff does.
Yeah, I think that with Bilecki, somebody mentioned Heiskanen as a potential comparable. And I was just thinking, who drafted him? That was Mark Leach. So, the guy's got a good eye, and I'm just so thankful that this, GM group that Chaika has put together, this front office, that they basically pulled together as many picks as possible for them. Because the truth is, like, the Marlies didn't win the Calder Cup. That's fantastic, but it's a very veteran-laden team, and we really want to get more young bodies in there as well, especially now that they were getting such a great culture there. The more young guys we can have experiencing that and moving up through the ranks and having a spot to move up to, the better that is. So anyway, the last pick in the draft for the Leafs was Brody Petboy. He's from Michigan, plays for the Saginaw Spirit. He's a right winger, and he was ranked 124th by NHL Central Scouting, and the Leafs were able to get him at 169. So that might be a good sleeper pick as well down the road.
Yeah. And like you were saying, I guess just to tie up the whole draft with the bow here, when it comes to the Leafs young core now, if you look at it, they have Gavin McKenna, that Tynes Luke Koblar, who's the Norwegian kid, Ben Danford, Easton Cowan, Matthew Nyes, Artur Akhtiamov, and Dennis Hildeby.
Yeah, that's all right.
So that's looking pretty good from where the media and everybody was talking about it at the end of April, saying our depth, our young prospects, like we have nothing basically, or we're really down in the top. Now, again, we've seen Matthew Nyes and Easton Cowan already proven. Easton Cowan still needs to improve, but still he's played in the league. And the other Dennis Hildeby has played in the NHL as well, so he's proven himself a little bit. And the other guys still have to work themselves up, but at least there's something there.
Yeah. And I don't know if I said this to you, I might have already, but the thing that shocked me is never in my life have I seen like 4 of the top outlets give the Leafs A+ marks for their draft.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
So, yeah.
I don't know. That and my priest giving us a thumbs up.
Those are two.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe it's something's going on here.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, with the hockey gods. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're going to move on to the highlights for the of the draft for each of us. So my highlight was actually, I thought it was fantastic. I read about a couple of these stories. It's about hockey getting more exposure in different parts of the world and very unique parts of the world. The one is the kid from the Cayman Islands who actually got drafted by the Senators, 32nd overall in the first round.
That's so impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. His name is Jackson Cover, and he grew up in the Cayman Islands. So I believe he was born in Miami.
And I don't know if people realize, but there's not a lot of ice there.
Yeah. So what he did was he played inline skating there, which gave him, I guess when it came, they were saying something to do with his skating skills, because he did so much of that in the Cayman Islands that it really got his ice skating ability like so much better.
I would say, because it's harder. There's way more resistance. So you get him on actual blades on ice and the guy is going to fly.
Yeah. And now he's with the London Knights. That's who he was playing with. And so that obviously London Knights is a factory for getting out good players and developing good players with the Hunters there. And so the one thing I guess that he said too, Jackson Cover said, there are ways of getting into the sport that are unconventional and from unconventional places. So he's kind of like taking that philosophy to, I guess, to promote the game sort of thing, right? And then the other guy, which is even other kid that's even more surprising, was Noah Ta'amu. I think that's how you pronounce it, from Samoa. Or his roots are from Samoa. He was born in the US in Kansas City. But he has Samoan heritage, and for those that don't know where Samoa is in basically in the South Pacific. It's I guess it's a central South Pacific Ocean island, basically. Yeah. So again, not a hell of a lot of hockey or ice available there, and he played defense for the Edmonton Oil Kings, and he was selected 199th overall by the Winnipeg Jets. So those are two stories. I just liked them, the fact that they were like in very different like places and cultures, and the game is just it's getting exposure and growing with like all the time. Like they had that the NHL had the Global Series in Australia. A couple of years back. So that was, I don't know, maybe that's how the Samoa kid heard about hockey too, but because it's down there, down under basically, right? Or close to there. But I just think it's great that you have these remote places or different places that are getting kids into hockey.
Well, it just goes to show you what an amazing sport, the sport that we love. Anyone can fall in love with it if given the chance, right?
Yeah.
All right. So my sort of highlight that was not necessarily McKenna related is the Leaf fan that got highlighted in the stands with his clipboard. And I thought, first of all, like I was noticing him too. And then some people started saying, who is this guy with the clipboard in the stands? And apparently his name is...
saw that on
Josh Libfeld.
Okay.
And he describes himself as a Leaf fan, draft nerd, and clipboard enthusiast. Anyway, I loved that because they could tell he was like so into it. Yeah. He had like a list of names and they kept showing him, and the fact that the place was a little bit empty kind of played in his favor, because really there's not a lot to key in on in the audience. But he kind of got his 15 minutes of fame because they brought him up to talk with the Day 2 broadcast team.
Yeah. Did you see it on the when they brought him up to the set?
Okay, yeah, I was watching
that.
it.
I saw.
He even gave a shout out. He said a really funny thing about how his his fiance said, "You're not going to take your clipboard, are you?" And and so he did, and that's what got him noticed. But he did give her a shout out as well. So
oh my God.
yeah,
That's
it was
hilarious.
a really great story. And I think Jason Bukala was looking over his list, and if you go on, so his name is Josh Libfeld. That's Libfeld. If you go on his Twitter profile, you'll see his picks compared to where the Leafs picked, and they're really close. And I think they were pretty impressed with how well he did. Like, so, he says he does this every year. And anyway, he's a very personable, lovely guy as well. So shout out to him. I thought that was incredible.
Yeah, that was, I did see them with the clipboard, and they kept the panel there. They kept referring back to the kid with the
so they finally did find him and bring him up there, which is great.
Yeah.
And then another honorable mention that I have is a shout out to the Pens and Kyle Dubas for drafting the Ruck twins together. I thought that was lovely. And
I'm surprised I guess maybe they had an agreement, maybe. For nobody else to take.
But they're they weren't so far apart, really, about 10 or 12 picks or something like that. But yeah, I thought that was really great because there's some twins that should never be separated. And I think these guys are, really much similar to the Sedin twins in that way. And they should just always be together. So, yeah. So I love that.
All right. So we're going to move on now just to talk a little bit about the Brandon Carlo trade. GM John Chayka got 2 of our third-round draft picks for this year's draft by trading defenseman Brandon Carlo to the St. Louis Blues. Of course, what we gave up to Boston for Carlo at the 2025 trade deadline is nowhere near the same value. But then that's where Mark Leach and the scouting staff, in these later rounds, if you can get somebody, like you're saying, maybe a Heiskanen type, you never know, right? So the third rounders that the Leafs picked with the Carlo trade, with those 3 third round picks are Zach Olsen and Måns Gudmundsson, which he's the guy who put his game after Moritz Seider. So yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. This trade that, brought us Brandon Carlo, it wasn't done by these guys.
No.
So what do they care? First of all, they want to bring in as many people as possible. It could be a situation. I don't want to talk Fraser Minton down or anything, but he didn't score at all in the playoffs. So if he was here not scoring for us, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
And that first round pick, whoever that's going to be, for Boston, who the heck knows? But,
Yeah, no, I mean,
what are you going to do? I mean, you need to build your team ultimately in some way. And like I said, they didn't have anything to do with this. It was a mistake. And I think most of us, at the time, we weren't thrilled about that first round pick going out the door and Fraser Minton because we loved him. And the one part of that is we are so thin in center depth that he's a person that we could definitely be using the same way Boston is using him now. But ultimately their prospects.
Yeah. And what Chayka said on the Carlo trade, I'll just read it here from Lance Hornby of the Toronto Sun. Chayka said he's a good fit. It's a good fit for Brandon in St. Louis, a fresh start. Good fit for us to get some new blood on the back end. We've talked about changing the way we defend and break out pucks, and felt the opportunity was there to restock the draft cupboard. So that's basically the explanation from Chayka. And I mean, it just makes sense from what they did in the draft. And Carlo never had a goal as a Leaf either. And I think it was just, I don't know, maybe it might have been too much pressure for him to the fact that.
I do think that he was never 100% healthy here. Even the injury that kept him out last year, that was
quite a long
time. What I know or have heard is from a previous surgery with pins in his ankle. So, it's possible that he's never really being the Carlo that we saw in Boston ever for us. So in that regard, like what he's saying is true. He's going to get a fresh start. He's not necessarily in the style of defenseman that, they really want to, build from going forward. I mean, you can't have all the same guys. You need some guys that are staying at home, but we do have two of the best ones with that in that regard, and that's in McCabe and Tanev. Yeah. Assuming Tanev's healthy, which people are saying that he's feeling good. So,
we should see if they still now that. Because obviously these third round picks are going to be a while, right? Like not coming in the next couple of years.
And some of these people, some of these guys, we developed them well. They're not going to be suiting up for the Leafs.
Yeah,
they're going to be bringing in other.
There's other moves possibly. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the more of these guys that you have that other teams covet, the better.
Yeah. I wonder how this affects the Morgan Rielly situation too. I know it is different, but with giving up Brandon Carlo, I'm wondering if it'll, I don't know, I'm happy to say that it seems that the trade talk for Morgan Rielly has diminished, I guess. Not a lot of teams are interested in him, so apparently. And I think
why would they?
Yeah.
Because we said
this so many times, he has more value to the Maple Leafs than
100%
anybody else. Yeah. Would. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. On the topic of trades, one of the best trades in Leafs history was made by former Leafs GM Cliff Fletcher when he brought Doug Gilmour to Toronto in 1992. We remember that well, that's for sure.
Yes, it changed our lives completely.
Yes, yeah.
We might not be doing this show if it weren't for that.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. So Fletcher had a long history in the game and got his start in hockey in 1956 with the Montreal Canadiens. And Cliff Fletcher sadly passed away earlier this month at the age of 90. And we want to give our condolences to his family and friends. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before, how going to the games at the Gardens, we'd always look up to the corner press box to look for his other name, aka the Silver Fox, to see if he was on the phone, basically, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
because he had the nickname Trader Cliff for a reason.
Yeah,
and he probably made that might have been the last huge blockbuster. There were so many bodies that switched sides with that trade. Yeah. So,
and yes, he did trade my favorite player here for Matt Sundin, but I forgive him for that.
You do? It took a long time, 30 years.
But yeah, I mean, he did bring him back. He brought him back.
Yeah, he did.
So, yeah. But yeah, no, it was.
There's no hard feelings between him and Matt, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, and just that trade, that Gilmour trade, what it gave to this city and hockey, and Leafs Nation, it was just unbelievable. And like many of the, I guess his colleagues, in hockey, with the Leafs, anyways, that we are thankful for him for giving us all of that, the great time that we had there in the early 90s.
Absolutely. Yep. It's hard to say where the Leafs would be if he didn't come here, Yeah. But those are some amazing memories and, amazing memories of, like you said, seeing him in the box. And that's iconic, when they won that first round against Detroit after Borshevsky's, everybody, that's one of the iconic shots that you see is him in the box up there
in
with
Detroit,
Mike Murphy and everybody. So it was incredible, and we are so grateful to him for sure. All right. Another thing we want to do is give a shout out to you and a couple of our new YouTube subscribers, specifically Delmer Oram and Paige Corner Cafe. We want to thank you for giving our YouTube page a thumbs up.
Yeah. And probably the reason why they gave us a thumbs up. They must have seen our Marlies clips that we put in there, our short video clips of the Marlies championships. We've posted the Marlies content from their Calder Cup win on game number 5 on our YouTube channel, so check it out. And we're working on updating the Ko-fi page with the photos that we took, so we'll update you on that via social media with links to see the photos from that big game. And for now, we thank you for listening on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your preferred podcast platform. A reminder for Spotify listeners, we are available on Spotify video as well, so check that out. If you like this episode, we would love for you to share it with one person, only one person. Okay, 2 maybe, and who you think would also love it. And you don't have to review it. I've stopped on the review stuff, let's just say, for now. And just share it with one person. And of course, if you would like to follow the show, please do. And we also want to thank our friends at the Believe Network. That's BLEAV.com, where you can also find our show.
Another way to help us out, as Chris mentioned, is by visiting our Ko-fi page, and you can follow us there. And if you choose to, you can support us by buying us a coffee. Any donation goes towards helping us produce the show to make it even better for you. You can find the link to our Ko-fi page in our show notes or in any of our social media profile pages.
And thank you to our healthcare workers and first responders for all that they do.
And we thank you, as always, for listening and watching Ladies Talkin Leafs. Till next time, go Leafs, go. And go Canada,
yes,
go.
Go Canada.
Woo. Do you believe?